Minnesota Wild 3, Columbus Blue Jackets 2 in the shootout tonight in Columbus. Wild getting off to a good start in their big four-game swing to start the post-All-Star break schedule. I said earlier on the game preview here on the YouTube channel that this was a make-or-break four-game stretch for the Minnesota Wild. They need to get 5 out of the 8 points possible during this time to sink or swim their season, essentially. So getting the 5 points would keep them afloat and get them into the playoff race. So good start for them tonight in Columbus. Very encouraging to see them take a huge jump forward in the puck possession column. Not often do we get to say the Wild dominated the puck possession stats, but they did so tonight as they had a massive second period. They kind of gave it back a little bit in the third to Columbus, but still at 5-on-5, I think the Wild were at just a little bit over 54% in the puck possession column on Corsica, which is very good for them, especially against Columbus, a playoff team in the East. So that is quite a positive from tonight. Other things to take away, Devin Dubnyk really liked his game tonight. Obviously, he didn't get the goaltender interference call he was hoping for there in the third period, but still a very fine game from him, especially after the game on Thursday where he got pulled halfway through the game. Defensively, I thought the Wild looked good. Obviously, they got burned by Artemi Panarin there in the third. David Savard got them early in the first period, but in between, I really liked the Wild's defensive game. Forwards, really the Wild were rolling 4 lines tonight that were putting on pressure. And again, not often this year have we been able to say that that's happened, but they did so tonight. And, even LaPanta brought it up on the broadcast how decent he said great, but I'm saying decent, the line of Winnick, Stewart, and Cullen were. They were actually not bad tonight, which is a moderate improvement from what they have been previously, which is not really good. But the forward lines are really good tonight. It was just a good, solid team showing from the Minnesota Wild tonight. I can't stress enough how much they need to do that night in and night out now. Have just a good, solid team showing. And, you saw a lot of big plays from guys that I mentioned in my article at And Zone Coverage. Charlie Coyle had a goal, and I called him out for needing to be a player that needed to step up, and the same goes for Joel Eriksson Ek. Thought he had a very good game. Obviously didn't get the goal to accommodate that, but again, a decent game from him. And at some point, these pucks are going to start going in for him. You got to have hope, and you put enough good games together, things are going to start going right. Tyler Ennis almost had the buzzer beater for the Wild in the second period. I'm not sure I've seen a goal that close to going in at the buzzer. Probably not since the Minnesota UND 0.6 second goal on the Frozen Four a few years back. But not too terribly displeased with Tyler Ennis, although it was weird there. I think it was in the second period when he literally just crashed into the net, and sometimes I just don't know. But I really can't complain about the Minnesota Wild tonight. That was such a good team showing, and it's good. Like, that was a good win, and now they get a couple of days off again. Another weird schedule glitch, but a couple days off, and then they are at home on Friday against the Vegas Golden Knights, and that is a huge game for the Minnesota Wild. Obviously, the Vegas Golden Knights are the toast of the NHL right now, with leading the Pacific Division and the Western Conference, for that matter. They just continue to win, and I don't know how that's possible, but they do so, and they're a very good hockey team. And we know there'll be a couple guys coming in with some chips on their shoulders in their return to St. Paul. So you have to expect a strong showing from the Golden Knights on Friday. So look for that. Minnesota obviously won the first game of the season back in November, I believe. Uh, but a huge game for the Wild, and then they have to get right back at it on Saturday in Dallas. So you'd like to hope the Wild can get a win on Friday and hope for any kind of points on Saturday in Dallas, a place they typically don't do well, but really positive start here tonight in Columbus. So I think that's all I have here for tonight. Obviously, check out the YouTube channel for game previews, game recaps, and our most recent podcast. We had an all-star podcast, episode 135. Last weekend, we had 6 guests join the show. We had Tom Schreier, Heather Rule, Derek Peterson, Jesse Pierce, Dave Schwartz, Chad Graff, all joined in. They gave their thoughts on the Wild for a few minutes, and it was a very good podcast. Highly encourage you to check that out on SoundCloud, iTunes, or again here on the YouTube channel. We'll be back on Friday with a game preview, and that will wrap it up for us. We will see you on Friday. Later.